Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Tuesday Nights with Ty. Just wait a second. I'm going to share this on Twitter, then we'll get going. Hopefully, we don't have any technical issues to deal with today. Let's hope, because can't have that. Cannot have that. Um, cannot have that. Appreciate everybody that's been watching each week. I appreciate all of you very, very much that have been watching each and every week. So that part's been cool. And yeah, on this summer Tuesday, where we got a lot to get to, quite a few things to get to. Phillies play later on tonight out in Seattle. 9-game winning streak got broken. So we'll get to that in just a little while. Now, appreciate everybody coming in early because we got a lot to get to today. A lot to get to, both locally and nationally. A lot of stuff going on. And I got to be honest with you. And I appreciate that, Shane. A lot going on. So we got a lot to get to. First thing I have to get to is the Deshaun Watson situation. I want to see if people's opinion also in the comments on some of this. I feel bad for Cleveland Brown fans. Like, obviously, I'm a Philadelphia fan, first and foremost. You can see by the background if you don't know who I am. I'm a Philadelphia fan first, but I respect true sports fans. Like, I even respect Knicks fans. I don't like the Knicks, but Knicks fans have been through, 50 years of no championships, and they still were loyal. That speaks to fandom. I respect Cleveland Browns fans because they've always been loyal. They lost their team. Like, the team moved to Baltimore. They get a crappy make of a team, a rebrand that stinks. And now you have a quarterback who is on the hook for $200 million fully guaranteed, the only fully guaranteed contract of that length, of that magnitude in all of the league. And they've restructured it a bunch of times to where they can't cut him. So just so we're clear with this Deshaun Watson situation before we get to some of the other stuff that happened recently. First thing, we have to recognize that his dead cap number will be $120 million. No team has $120 million in cap space. So if for some reason he was the backup and they went with Shedeur Sanders instead of him, he would still, by the way, be on the roster because they can't cut him and they can't trade him because of the $120 million cap hit. The fact that he has the gall to insult their fans shows that he's just a piece of garbage. Now, usually, I don't like to go personal like that with sports people because most of the time, these guys are all doing their best and some fail and some succeed. This is how it goes in sports. Like with the Phillies, they had their 9-game winning streak ended yesterday. The Phillies try. I recognize they're frustrating, but they try. The Sixers recently, in recent years, pre-LeBron, they've tried. They've failed, but they've tried. By and large in pro sports, the athletes try. So I try not to go personal with when athletes do poor on the field. But we know what Deshaun Watson was accused of. We know that people were going over the astronomical number of the masseuses that he apparently would grope and do all these things to. Apparently it was 15 black women. That's not all of them, but it was 15 black women, then another few Asian women, white women, Hispanic women. Like, Deshaun Watson is a first-class scumbag, period, full stop. A first-class scumbag. So for him to insult the fans and say that they're not booing him because he stinks at football, which he does. He stinks at football. But to suggest that that wasn't the reason why people were hating on him there, and then those fans have to deal with him now as the week one, and probably because they have 2 straight road games, the first 2 week starter. And first of all, he could throw it for 1,000 yards and 9 million touchdowns those first 2 games. He's still getting booed when he gets back to Cleveland. I have to say, as a Philadelphian, I feel bad for Cleveland fans. Flat out, I do. I feel bad for Cleveland fans because they don't deserve that. They're real fans. And I hate that that's happening to them. The question I have is, for the people that are in the room, if they want to jump in the chat real fast, and you can make it in the comments if you watch it later on. Obviously, it'll be on YouTube. We do this every Tuesday around 7 o'clock. Tuesday night with Ty. Appreciate you, Terrell from Philly. I want to know, do you feel bad for Browns fans? Or are we so into our Philadelphia mode that we don't even have time to look at other cities? Because I can only imagine if we didn't have Jalen Hurts and instead we had Deshaun Watson and the situation that he would have put them in. And there was talk at the time, remember, this is years ago now, that perhaps before we were sold on Hurts, there was some talk of perhaps wanting to get a Deshaun Watson years ago. Thank God that they didn't. Do you feel bad for Browns fans in this case? And I have to say, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I do feel bad for Browns fans. Deshaun Watson is a clown. He's a joke. He's just a straight garbage human. I'm not okay with the fact that he's allowed in society, let alone on a football team starting. And the fact that he's still so unaware, to me, shows you that he's never going to understand it. He is not able to be rehabbed. And that I just can't live with. So I feel bad. I had to get that out the way about Deshaun Watson because that was ridiculous. He should not be on the roster, period, let alone be the starter. And I know they have to keep him on the roster, but you don't have to keep him in the building. You can have Shador and some minimum guys and then get your cap stuff in order and get rid of them. So that's the first thing with Deshaun Watson. I feel bad for Browns fans. He should not be in the league. And the fact that he could just insult the fans like that with no remorse, major problem for me. Major, major problem for me. So that is step one today with the things that we'll get to. Now, moving on. Appreciate you, Carrie. I see Shane says he does feel bad for Browns fans. The dude robbed the team blind. Yeah, it's a sad situation. And he was suspended 11 games. And you know what it takes in the NFL to be suspended 11 games? Let's remember, before I move on, that Ray Rice told the truth. Now, remember what Ray Rice did, and it was terrible. Ray Rice told the truth. He sat down with the owner of the Ravens. He sat down with the commissioner and mentioned being drunk in Atlantic City and knocking his fiance, now wife, unconscious. And he told the truth. And they said 4 games. They said 4 games after telling the truth. Appreciate you, Alfie Fisher. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for him. He can't play. He's a bad guy. He insults him. But 4 games. Again, Ray Rice, we know what ended up happening once the video came out. But for Deshaun Watson, remember, there's no video of this. So with no video, Ray Rice goes to the commissioner and says, I knocked my fiance unconscious with a fist. And the NFL said 4 games. We know what Ben Roethlisberger was accused of. He wasn't suspended 11 games. We know that Ben Roethlisberger, what an off-duty police officer said about Ben Roethlisberger. Again, no video, just like Deshaun Watson, no video. He didn't get 11 games. So we know Deshaun Watson had to do something pretty bad to get 11 games as it is. Since then, though, the Browns have enabled him, and now he's insulting their fans, and that's just terrible. That's just terrible. Now, before we get on to the next sports thing, because we'll get to the Phillies resuscitating their season and some more things, and that guy, I'm not going to say his name, who's tall, who's making things weird. Dolly Parton passed away today. Here's a weird thing, because I'm not one of these people. I appreciate all of you guys watching me here, but I know I'm a polarizing person. There are people who like me, and there are people who don't like me. And most people are like that. I might be slightly more polarizing than some, but everybody has people that likes them, and everybody has people who doesn't like him. Now, I see somebody coming in real fast before I move on with this. No sympathy for Cleveland. Why do you, as a Philadelphian, why do we have beef with Cleveland? What do they do? Like, it's not Dallas. It's not Washington. I just don't see the beef. It's not Pittsburgh. I don't have it in me to hate Cleveland. What has Cleveland ever done to Philadelphia? Like, is there some history that I don't know about? So I can't go with you there. Like, he says no beef, but it kind of feels like it's beef. Like, what did Cleveland do? Like, I wouldn't feel bad for Cowboys fans ever. We'll never. Don't like them. Won't ever feel bad for them. But I feel bad for Cleveland fans. Now, Dolly Parton passed away. This is the rare thing as I was getting to. I've never heard anybody say anything bad about Dolly Parton ever. And I'm talking about white people, black people, people that listen to country music, people that don't listen to country music, people that watch only her in the movies like that 9 to 5 and all that stuff. I've never heard a person in my life ever say anything bad about Dolly Parton. And I want to know, are there other people like that in the world? All right. In the world. Is there like that is beloved by Dolly Parton? Is there anybody in sports, not Philadelphia sports, and you can help me out in the chat here? Is there anybody in sports who's as beloved as Dolly Parton is, or non-sports for that matter? I've never heard anybody say anything bad about Dolly Parton. Even people that don't like big boobs like Dolly Parton, because even if you don't like big boobs, you respected hers. Rest in peace. You always respected them. So I just don't see that. And in sports, like somebody else saying Philadelphia, Chase Utley. You saw the number retiring and stuff like that. And yes, the yearly Anne Hathaway hate is coming. Although I've kind of warmed to her. I don't hate her as much as I used to, if I can be honest there. In New York, for example, they hate Chase Utley. There's a lot of places where people hate Chase Utley. So while he is universally beloved here, he's not universally loved everywhere. Ray Dunn, first of all, if Ray Dunn eats another hot dog during Labor Day weekend, then you ain't got to worry about Ray Dunn during middays because Ray Dunn won't be breathing. And you can tell him I said that, okay? Ray Dunn is already itching to get slapped in the face, and he knows why, okay, eating those hot dogs during Labor Day weekend. So sorry, Luca. He's not universally loved because he doesn't follow the rules, okay? Punk-ass Ray Dunn is lucky. Okay, lucky to be walking around flat out. So no, he's not universally loved. All right, responding to the chat. You can always jump in the chat as well. Now, but in sports and in life, period, Keanu Reeves. Now that's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one. Keanu Reeves is a good one. That's a good one in the chat of being somebody universally loved, like a Dolly Parton is universally loved. I mean, if you like, first of all, Keanu, this is how you know that he's universally loved. Keanu Reeves can't act. Yet we watch all his movies. We like all his movies. They're tremendous. They're all rewatchable. There's not a single Keanu movie you've seen once. Because if you've seen it once, you've wanted to see it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 times. Tell me how many times have you seen The Replacements? Not once. How many times have you seen The Matrix? Some of you maybe never saw The Matrix, which I find weird, but nobody saw The Matrix once. You watched it a bunch of times. All these those new killer joints that he does, was it John Wick, whatever it is, you watch those over and over again when they're on TV. So yeah, Speed, right, John Wick, you watch those movies over and over and over again. Keanu might be the person, the male version. So you have Dolly Parton, who passed away today at the age of 80, who gave people books and everything like that. You know what I'm talking about there with Dolly Parton. And I was looking for people, if you're just getting in the room, for people in sports or otherwise that are universally loved like Dolly Parton. Keanu Reeves is a good one. Now, this one from Shane Mack is Morgan Freeman. Now, here's the tough one. I would like to say yes, but, and I'm saying that I don't know everybody spends time on Black Twitter. On Black Twitter, there are some people upset with Morgan Freeman because there's this rumor that he's with his like adopted granddaughter or something like that, something weird with Morgan Freeman. So if you're unaware of his dating habits as an old man, yes, but I do know some people who are aware of that and then hate on Morgan Freeman. Now that guy's name, I'm not going to say, we'll get to that one in just a little while, but I want to say rest in peace to Dolly Parton, universally beloved. It kind of doesn't matter what your background is. And somehow we all love her. We've all come across some of her work. And rest in peace to her. And it's just sad because you know that we're not going to get a replacement for her. Like when we lose legends like that are beloved, it's not like one is just automatically like birthed and we get another one. We just run out of legends. And little by little, the world just gets worse because there's not another legend to replace that legend. And that part really stinks. All right. Let's go on to the next topic now. And that's the Phillies real fast before I get to the WNBA situation, and then we'll wrap this up. Be honest, people. Yes, they lose last night. Yes, Wheeler not pitching well is concerning, but last week for sure when we were on Tuesday night with Ty, but 10 games ago, a lot of people were done with the Phillies. If we're being honest, a lot of people were done with the Phillies. In fact, when I was in here last week, I had a lot of people fast forwarding to Eagles season, which I'm excited for yet. And I'm glad that they showed a pulse in their second preseason game after not showing a pulse in that first preseason game. Not because I care about the wins or losses. I know injuries happen in football. I like to think that some of their backups will actually be good football players because they're going to be forced to play. That's why, to me, that them looking so bad in the preseason mattered, not for wins and losses, because it's vanilla and they're not trying to win. But you want to see some of these backup players who you're not envisioning playing now that you know may have to play later on. You don't want a situation where there are a bunch of Keely Ringos running around, where as soon as you need them, they get in the game and stink. So it was good that they showed a pulse and looked a little better in that second game. And of course, with the Sixers, you know how excited we are about the Sixers. October 20th can't get here quick enough. We're very excited about it. 10 games ago, you were fast forwarding through baseball season. I'm going to say it again because I want to be honest. I want to keep it 100% real, that what I've been all year with the Phillies before we move on, okay? Number one, I don't think the Phillies can win the World Series, okay? I don't think they can win the World Series, okay? I can give the reasons why, but I don't want to hate on some players that are playing well now that I don't believe will play well in October, okay? Me personally, I don't trust Trey Turner. I haven't trusted him since he's been here. And so far, unfortunately, I've been correct. Going back to the thing, yes, Betty White was beloved. I'm talking about living. Living with the passing of Dolly Parton. Yes, Betty White was universally beloved. You're absolutely right about that. Now, with the Phillies, I don't think they can win the World Series. I've been very consistent. I don't trust Trey Turner in October. I feel like it's the worst $300 million ever spent, Trey Turner, because I don't believe he's going to deliver. I hope I'm wrong. I want him to deliver. I don't believe that he will. I do not trust him. Alec Bohm. I know there's a lot of people that are Bohmers. They love him, okay? I don't trust corner infielders that don't hit for power. I recognize you can say, oh, he's there for this, that, and all these other things. I don't care. What I need you to do as a corner infielder at 6'5" is to hit for power because you're not going to single your way to a World Series. You need people in those spots to do big things. I don't trust them. So those two righty bats, both Turner and Bohm, to me, are the biggest reason I do not trust this team ultimately to win a World Series. At the same time, this was always a playoff team. I never believed they were going to miss the postseason. I still think they can win the division. There's a lot of baseball left, over a month. I never thought the Phillies were going to miss the postseason. I recognize how frustrating they are, and how frustrating they are is part of why they can't win the World Series, in my opinion. I want them to. I just don't think they can. But I never thought they were going to miss the postseason. But 10 games ago, they're 9-1 the last 10. They won 9 in a row. Sunday's game was one of the best wins, most fun wins we've had in a long time. Their first walk-off home run in 8 years or whatever it was, 10 years. It was a long time. It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun on Sunday. Yesterday, late. Obviously, they don't play for another couple hours still. If you have to work tomorrow, it's tough to stay up to watch the Phillies. I get it. But they were always going to make the postseason. And I think the issue is we're so Eagles focused, and I think it's going to affect the Sixers season too. We watch every sport like it's the Eagles. And it's very normal for us to live and die with every Eagles game, because why wouldn't we? We only have, we had 16. We only have 17 of them. Also, I'll be doing a big watch party, a big brunch for the London game. I'll get you all the information so everybody wants to come out and watch with me. We'll have a good time in the morning because they got a London game this year. I'll be doing a big brunch with my friends at City Winery, so I'll be getting to that soon too. So stay tuned. Make sure you tune in every Tuesday. Follow me on my social media, Ty Johnson News on Instagram, Ty Johnson News on X, and we'll get all that worked out. But we can't watch baseball that same way, because you're going to have these cold streaks like they had, and you're going to have the hot streaks that they had. So the Phillies, again, because I don't want to overstate it. I don't want to go too far. I don't want to be crazy. On the one hand, I don't believe they're good enough to win a World Series, and I don't trust their righty batters, okay? I saw a stat this past week that guess who the player who has been up to the plate with the bases empty with 2 outs the most this year. Bases empty, 2 outs the most this season. The answer is Bryce Harper, unfortunately. Bryce Harper has been up with 2-0. Yes. Yes, I appreciate that. Brunch watch party is going to be lit. We're going to have a good time at City Winery, and you'll be getting those details in the coming weeks. That'll be in October. Can't wait for that. So we'll be doing that. But Trey Turner's here for that not to happen with Bryce Harper. He's not supposed to come to the plate with 2 outs with the bases empty, the most in the sport. The point of Trey Turner was to avoid that. We know Schwarber is going to hit home runs, but we know what kind of hitter he is. Turner's supposed to be different. It's supposed to be a yin-yang situation. We know all the positives of Schwarber. We know the negatives of Schwarber. Turner's supposed to alleviate those negatives, and he doesn't do it enough. And if he did, I think this team could steal a World Series. You get hot in October. You have enough pitching overall. Nola's showing a pulse. There's a lot to like with this team. But ultimately, I don't think they can win the World Series, but they were always going to be a playoff team. They are going to be a playoff team, and I still think there's a real chance they win this division. They have 6 games left, I believe, against the Braves coming up. You go 4-2 there, and you're right there. So I really believe that. All right, last thing I got to get to is this WNBA thing with the tall weirdo. All right. Now, I'm not asking anybody's opinion on anything, really on anything when it comes to this topic before we wrap up. But that tall freak needs to shut the fuck up. And I don't like to use that kind of language normally, but that's what he needs to do. WNBA, by all measures, having their best season ever. Okay? Best season ever. All right? There's more viewership. There's more attendance. All the things that sport wants, they're having this year. And what you now have is a bunch of people now interfering because they don't watch the game. I want to make this very clear to everyone in this room right now and everybody that watches this later. If you don't want to watch the WNBA, don't watch it. I'm not advocating for anyone to do anything they don't want to be. I'm not a person who's going to try to convince you or run propaganda for the WNBA because I don't care to do that, okay? That's not my job, and I don't want any of you guys, if you want to watch the major 4 teams and then be with your family or then watch college football, whatever you do, go do it. I'm not trying to convince anybody to watch the WNBA that doesn't want to. But what we do know is, like factually, because this is not an opinion, more people are watching the WNBA now than they ever have before. Period. That's a fact. That's both in person and that's both on television. They're setting records, okay? More eyeballs are on that sport than ever. So conveniently, there's a tall freak who's an idiot and an asshole and should not be allowed to just have a platform. No one's been talking about him because he's out of the NBA. So rather than just go be quiet and go live your life and take your millions of dollars and live, he's now trying to create a problem that doesn't exist. He's trying to create a problem that doesn't exist. And what I mean by that is if you're having your best year, that's how you know there's not a problem. 3 years ago, they had a problem. 5 years ago, they had a problem. 10 years ago, they damn sure had a problem. This is the first time they don't really have problems. People are watching. People are enjoying. People are doing what they're supposed to do, and they're watching the sport. Now, we need more people in general to talk about the games, but the point remains they're having their best season. This guy does not give a damn about transgender. He also doesn't give a damn about winner. All he's trying to do is put himself into an issue that no one asked him to be in. Okay? I'm looking at the chat. He's centering himself in an issue that doesn't even pertain to him. It's loser behavior, and he's a grifter. And you're going to notice he's going to hop from issue to issue in order to get attention. Okay? Here's the thing. I'm going to say it again. If you don't watch, don't watch. If you do watch, you're joined by a lot more people than you used to be. More people are watching the WNBA, as I said, than ever. It's the most popular it's ever been. And this is likely in the long term a good situation in the long term because now it's significant enough to have people try to glom on it. Think about it. We're going to hear it all year with the Sixers. There have been people like Skip Bayless and others who have made a lot of money in recent decades because LeBron's been around so long, hating on LeBron. Hating LeBron James has become an industry in which you can become a millionaire by hating on LeBron. And if you hate on LeBron, you can go on talk shows and you can get all this attention because you hate LeBron James. He became his own industry because he's so famous. And Sixers fans, you know what's coming. The Sixers start off a little slow because they got a whole new starting lineup. We'll hear about it and the haters will come forward. If they start out good, it'll be, oh, he was ring chasing. We already know it's already been written ahead of time. There will not be an original thought said by a national pundit when it comes to the Sixers or LeBron James this season, because all the talking points are written now in August. And then you'll cut and paste in October, November, December, etc. until they win a championship in June, and they will. That's the only time you might hear a national person say anything interesting, because LeBron is box office, LeBron is a business, LeBron is the brand, etc. It's probably a good thing for the WNBA to now be big enough. If you want to give credit to Caitlin Clark, go ahead and do it. Like, I don't care why. I'm saying that because the games are big enough now, there's now a point where someone can try to capitalize from it. So why, again, I'm going to say this because I mean it. That guy's a piece of shit. Okay? I don't usually curse. I had to curse twice because that guy's a piece of shit 3 times. I stand by it. Okay? Garbage. Him. All right? But it's probably a good thing for the women. It's probably a good thing if you have daughters, especially who want options to play professional sports, that it's popular enough for people to try to capitalize on it. Again, I just want to stand by this. If you don't care, I'm not telling you to watch. I want to make that very clear, because sometimes go, oh, I don't care. It's too slow. Fine, it, don't watch it. But there's a lot of people watching it. And the fact that loser, okay, that loser is using it to capitalize is probably a good thing for the health of the sport, but he needs to get out of the way. Now, people can say replace the commissioner. Fine. I don't care if you replace the commissioner. The players don't seem to like that commissioner, but I'll say this. She's the commissioner during the most successful year in the history of their game. So do you fire that commissioner? I don't know. But that guy's garbage. And we cannot allow that to happen, because if you care about people, if you can ever put yourself outside of yourself for a moment and just care about the next man or the next woman or the next human next to you, the last thing we need is for people who are being successful, having fun, doing something now profitable, making money, doing things that women never could do, to have some tall loser, idiotic, pathetic, capitalizing, idiotic guy who no one cares about, who couldn't play defense, who didn't play in college, all the stuff. Like, we don't need that. We don't need that person showing up all the time and trying to take away from those young ladies, okay? Because this is their time to shine. So again, if you don't want to watch, don't watch. But don't watch him try to take away from it. But it's probably good that he is, because now they're now popular enough to where you can get famous for hating on it. Okay, Cat Williams talked about how if you, whatever you're doing in your life, if you have people hating on you, this probably means you're doing well. So then your goal should be to get a couple more haters. Well, the WNBA has finally done their part to get some more haters. And that, I'm not saying his name, that tall idiot. All right. Now, when somebody says, I acknowledge Caitlin Clark's greatness, she's third in the MVP this year, third or fourth in the MVP this year. Asia Wilson's ahead of her. Olivia Miles is ahead of her. I have Paige Becker's ahead of her. But saying someone's top 5 in MVP does acknowledge the greatness. It just says she's not number 1, because she's not. Also, she's not the best player on her own team. She's not the best player on her own team. She's the most popular player. She is the most popular player. She is absolutely the most popular player. I'm not an idiot, but she's not the best player. She's not. Okay? She's not. And as far as acknowledging Roman Reigns, well, he better get that he better get the family in line, because there's issues out there. Listen, I want to thank everybody. Every Tuesday, 7-ish, okay? Tuesday nights with Ty. I'll be having other things going on soon. I will be able to announce it. We will be at City Winery, though, for the Eagles London game, so we can watch that there, have brunch, break bread, have fun there. Thank you so much to everybody watching live. Thanks so much to everybody that's going to watch it later on YouTube as well. And I'll talk to everybody next week.